All right, so I guess my final question or one of the wrap up questions I want to ask you is just about like the stint of like going back and forth in and out of jail, just as not just as a rapper, but just as a black man in general. How do you feel like that kind of job like weigh in you, and like where did it direct you? Like I guess in a positive direction or even a negative direction. Like what's your thought pattern while you in there?
When you in there, I mean I can't speak for nobody else. When I'm in there. I've been through it so much, it's to the point where like when.
All right, so let's break it down a little bit. So your first time going in, what was your process compared to what your process was going back?
My first time going in, I was like just turned 18, so it was my first time even going to adult prison. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I'm going in here with I had 10 years and they suspended 8, and they gave me probation. So but I knew I had to do 2. So it's like, man, I gotta go in here for 2 years because I know in Oak Hill and Boys Village or whatever, we was going hard too. So now this is big boy prison.
So but you did do time in Oak Hill and the juvie jump.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the juvie and the adult jump?
The difference?
I mean, of course the age, but just like, do you feel like it's a huge difference in the mindset?
Not really the mindset. I mean, yeah, kind of, because you know, like when you in a juvenile facility, you kind of know like it's like a program, like it's like it doesn't rehabilitate a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what they do when they in there, but for the most part, it don't.
So do you think when as a youngin in that joint, you think it kind of almost I don't want to say motivated, but do it kind of like get you familiar with like shit? I can go back out and do it again.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when I did the time as a youngin, even one time I did like a year. I never did like 2 years in juvenile. Like the most I did was like a year, but that was enough to where as though I knew how to do it, and that's where it kind of molds you into it, because it's like if you ever got to go through it again, you know how to do that shit. Because like jail, it ain't just something you can just do. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like the average motherfucker gonna break in there. You know what I'm saying? So it was like when I got the adult bid, it was like, damn, like my only thing was, am I gonna even make it through 2 years to get home? Because I was wild. So it's like if they in here on it ain't no guarantee a motherfucker gonna take me being like, man, I'm just chilling, I'm just trying to go home. You know what I'm saying? And I was getting into shit too. You feel what I'm saying? So it really was happening like that. But that rap shit kind of helped me, because even people that was when I did that first adult bid, I was in Maryland. I'm not from Maryland. You feel what I'm saying? So that was one thing I had with, I'm in here with Maryland people. Now they got niggas in from New York, New Jersey, Philly, whatever. But I rapped. You feel what I'm saying? So when there was battles going on, or I was just in ciphers, or everybody just wanted to hear me rap, it was really like in jail. Jail is the only thing they say the only thing you missing is like pussy in your family. But it's life go on. You feel what I'm saying? So
when you say that, can you go in a little bit more in depth for everybody who watching it that ain't never been in there? So when you say that's the only thing that you miss is pussy in your family, and you say it's kind of like still like everyday life, like what's I guess a couple scenarios that can make it feel like I'm damn near almost outside, but I'm not outside.
Niggas in prison smoking weed, niggas in prison getting drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you not? I ain't gonna go too in depth of what's going on in there. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, you missing out on the most important things still.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? But it's not like a person is not just sitting in a cell and they're just like, man, damn, I can't wait till I get out. Go eat, then come back and do the same thing. Like the way they make it seem on TV, there are prisons like that. But there also are many more prisons where it's not like that. You're moving freely and you're all right. You know what I'm saying? But so in there, it's like you still watch BET and all that shit, but that's the closest we can get to that.
Right.
It's watching BET or listening to something on a radio, on a Walkman or some shit. So the rappers is not just me. It's a lot of rappers there. That shit is their entertainment. So when it's like this a 18-year-old kid in here and he better than everybody fuck with me. You know what I'm saying?
So do you feel like it's easier to build a rep that can kind of last you when you get back out on the street, off of the strength of being in there and jail, like really holding your own rapping and on man time?
In a way. I mean, it don't always, you gotta make that translate into success when you a rapper. You know what I'm saying? You gotta kind of use, and you can't be the one to do it. You gotta be somebody that can use that to push you forward. Where I say it help is like just the simple fact they know that's really you. You know what I'm saying? Like I never had to deal with nobody saying, man, I heard that nigga ain't really on that shit, or that nigga ain't. And for the type of music we make, that's good, because it's, you want a motherfucker to know, like, I'm really putting my life into this.
What's the hardest thing you think about during time that you had to go through? Like, what's the hardest thing, like, just dealing with jail, like, on a day-to-day basis that you had to go through?
I mean, once you in there for a while, it really do be your family. You know what I'm saying? People say that shit, and it sounds cliche when people say it, but when you in that predicament and you really like forced to figure out like who fuck with me or who matter, or that really be what it is.
Does that do that break you down, kind of like if motherfuckers don't come out and see you, or like if you going in there and I'm dealing with a broad before I go in there, and you even like you said you're doing 2 years and she might come maybe the first week or maybe the first month and then they kind of like fall back. Like, how do that shit mentally handle? I don't know if you had to go through that, but if you did, like, how you think that kind of like, do that break niggas like in a mental cycle, or do it make you like stronger, or how do that feel?
For me personally, yeah. And listen, I had to deal with that happening to me before, but I never had to deal with going to prison and a female just back off and then they completely break me down, because anytime I went to prison, it was a bunch of females fucking with me. And that was like, that's who it was. I had times where, you know, maybe the people I do music with are there or might come see me or whatever, but I did 3 different adult prison bids. Every one of them motherfuckers, it was endless females there. The money, the letters, the emailing, the visits, whatever, that's who was doing it. You know what I'm saying? So I never really had to deal with, I had to still deal with the emotional distress of it, because it might be the one you really fuck with. You know what I'm saying? They
don't come out and fuck with you?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You just never know. Like, my first time I had to go through that shit. And that shit was like, I got females now that be telling me like, man, maybe like somebody did some shit to you to where, because it fuck you up to where you don't know it fuck you up. Like, I know how to make a woman feel great, you know what I'm saying? But it just might be something that women feel like, man, a nigga should know I want this from him. And I'd be like, man, I ain't really pressed to get it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that I don't like you, I don't fuck with you. Like the mushy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might do it, but I'm gonna do it on my terms, on my time. Like, I might just feel like it. I might just, but they want that all the time. And then when they asking for it in whatever subliminal way they asking for it, like, I'll act like I don't know that you subliminally asking for that shit, because I just ain't on it. You know what I'm saying? And not that I can't be, but it just, from like a prison period, that shit mold you to be a certain way. Like, I can't deal with people like everybody else can.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like, I might just get irritated. I might, and this for real, like, sometimes I have to tell myself, like, this person don't mean no harm, man. You know what I'm saying? That's just them. But it come from you being in that environment. You gotta adjust to that shit. It's like a person going off the wall, then they come back home and they diagnose them with all this stuff, because it's you had to leave something to get acclimated to one way, and when you got acclimated to that way of life, they put you right back into the old one. Like, yeah, figure that back out. And you might think you figuring it out, but it's like, that shit deep. Because I'm not the type of person that, I never got locked up and had to do time and was like, oh, I broke down, like, oh God, I'm fucked up, I'm about to do this time. It just used to be like anger. Man, what the fuck? How the fuck I get back in here? And I think that's where it fucked me up, because I never had to deal with getting locked up and having to sit back and think like, fuck.
All right, but question, because I remember you saying for a second when you was in there, you was thinking about just the I guess like buying stuff, like you looking at magazines, like I'm gonna buy this, I'm gonna buy that.
Yeah.
Like when you was in there, how the hell you block out like I'm doing time and be focused on what you about to get when you come out?
Shit like that, magazines, seeing it on TV. because you start noticing. And then another thing with me going to prison at a young age, the first time, like that shit really, because growing up I always was a hustler. I just was on money. So out of like the crew of us that it was growing up, I was one of the ones who got money and had money because I valued it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I really wasn't a bona fide hustler. That shit turned me into that because it forced me to go to adult prison at such a young age around niggas who was millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
Like the people that you hear about that went to jail, I had to sit there with these people because I always dealt with older people.
So when you enter, like, let's say if you in a junk right now and you just, I don't know how you, I'm sure it's not all exactly these niggas ain't your cellies, but how do you even hold conversations and know if niggas bluffing or not when you in the junk and a nigga tell you, shit, man, I was getting off like 2 bricks every week?
It's over time. You figure it out through constant conversation. You know what I'm saying? Nigga might tell you the same story different ways, or he might you just gotta let people talk. And that's what it is for real, because if we all sit, when we come out, boom, we come out for regular, everybody watching TV, we can all be sitting just like this together. And so we kicking it. All the homies talk to each other. We talk. You're gonna tell stories. I don't give a fuck who you are, how gangster you are, how murder you are. Like, I done been in there with niggas and you don't have what else you got to do. And we all got this same type of shit in common. And another thing is some people just know. So if I know, like, somebody might say, oh, that's Eezy from Trinidad. That person might already know, like, oh, I already heard about Slim. Because if you in the street, you hear about people.
Mm-hmm.
Some motherfuckers, though, when you let them keep talking, it's like you can just feel it. I don't know, like you just, when you a street nigga, it's like, bro, like, we all in here for all this shit. It be niggas lying about why they in there. You gotta figure that shit out later. Like, hold on, you told us, ooh, and I go let me see that shit. Nigga done lied about all types of shit.
Because that's what I'm talking about now. I'm not saying, like, when you know the difference between when a nigga in that joint, he got caught with an ounce, and a nigga really got caught with like 2 bricks.
Yeah, I mean, you know, like, if I come to, like, listen, if you go, say in the feds, you go on the block, you go on the unit, whatever unit you want to be on. If it's millionaires in there, niggas know.
Like, do niggas in the jail respect them a different way, or do they treat them like a nigga who got caught with an ounce?
Depends on who they are. I mean, because a lot of them be older niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I'm talking about is like older niggas that was hustling when hustling was hustling. Like, they was in them little towns, and like I was locked up with a dude who he was the manager of one of the 90s R&B groups. I think Guy. He managed Guy.
Mm-hmm.
He was a hustler though. You know what I'm saying? Millionaire. He went to jail. While I was locked up, DJ Lean, shout out DJ Lean, man. DJ Lean had my he was working my Facebook, and Frank Lucas' son or something reached out to me, like through Facebook about something. And that old nigga was telling me about everything, like everything from back then. He was telling me was like who he knew was out there already waiting for Slim, all type of shit. Because it's you in prison. Like, you can't form no bond like you can form with a motherfucker in prison nowhere else. Because it's forced on you. Like, we just, like, if we was all to have to stay in this apartment for 3 years straight, like, we gotta, there's a lot of us, man. You gotta sleep in the same places. Man, the wall might get tore down, so now you got shit right there. Everybody right here, they can see you shitting. So and then them niggas, a lot of them got life. So they don't give a fuck about telling you that shit. But you just know, because the feds is you gotta think it's people from all over the world. All the hustlers and
Is it broke down into, like, when niggas are sectioned off in the junk, is it niggas sectioned off from where they from, or is it from, like, if you blood crippin' and if you Muslim?
Yeah, it's where you from. It's, you know, DC, everybody from DC fuck with each other. All the homies from DC. You might got like some niggas from Maryland that hang with niggas from DC. Maryland got their own numbers, so it's like whatever that person last 3 numbers is on his Fed number, gonna tell you where he from. You can look if they got it on their shirt, you can look at that shit and tell where they from, or rather some niggas don't be from there. They just got locked up there.
So back when you was in Oak Hill, was that kind of like in the time when it was like the Baltimore DC thing was heavy, but it was like they bunched in DC and PG together, where it was like Baltimore niggas was Baltimore niggas, and then DC and PG niggas kind of had to hold theirs together.
Well, I mean, in Oak Hill, we ain't really had too many Baltimore niggas. And Oak Hill, it always was mostly just DC niggas.
DC niggas.
You know what I'm saying?
Did you ever go to Boy? That was Boy Village though, right?
Yeah,
okay.
I went there too.
But that was more DC, PG, Baltimore type of thing.
But you know what? When I was in there, even when I was in there, like everybody fucked with me then too. But I was so wild of a nigga, like I still was getting into it. I used to get into it with Baltimore niggas, and I got into it with a Baltimore nigga before, and everybody else jumped on him, and it was Baltimore niggas jumping on him too. But I also done been in it where it's us versus them. You know what I'm saying? It was just and like I said, even back then, that rap shit really bridged a lot of gaps with shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Even I fuck on a higher level, just thinking about that, because I've never been to prison nowhere where it was like, them niggas don't like me. That group of people don't like me. I never had to deal with that shit. But to answer your question, in the feds, it's just where you from. So if you got DC niggas, they over here, there's a table. So if I go in a unit, whoever's sitting at that table, whatever group of people, they all gonna be from the same place. And it's like that at all the tables. You got your own tables.
But do niggas end up migrating where you like link up and build bonds with like niggas from New York and shit like that? Because I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how niggas meet to connect and shit like that. And you kind of like can build like almost a good drug trade program in there as well, because it's like, all right, well, this nigga from New York and he got this shit, but it's a nigga from this young from Georgia and he got this shit for the low. I'm sure that them two niggas got to eventually link up with each other, so, especially if they ain't got long ass stretches where they got to really do it. A nigga in there for 5 shit. I can link up with the plug and I'm coming home in 5. We getting busy.
Yeah, because you all still out there together. It's not a thing where it's just everything in prison is respect. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like that's our space. If we all sit in this section, we all from DC, or we all from it might be some, like I said, a couple people that's from Maryland that fuck with us or whatever, and we all in this area, this our section. People just gotta respect that. But you fuck with whoever you want to. You know what I'm saying? As long as it ain't nobody that the homies got a problem with.
Right.
And even then, it might be like we could be having a problem with the niggas from Ohio. I might fuck with some of them. If it ain't nothing going on at that time, like I ain't gotta stop being like, what's up, son? Like, but we know what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is. And they got the gangs too. The Bloods be with the Bloods. The Crips be with the Crips. Texas Syndicate be with the Texas Syndicate. Yeah, that's how it is. It's sectioned off, but everybody still associate. You know what I'm saying? It's just that sometimes something might happen. It might be just two niggas that they got into it. You know what I'm saying? But it might have been maybe the threat was too bad, or nigga put a knife out on the nigga, or whatever the case is. Now we all got an issue now. You know what I'm saying? But it could also be, man, that nigga, they got into it, man. He knocked his ass out. All right, that's what happened.
All right, so I guess my last thing to wrap it up is, what you got going on that you want people to check out right now, so when they listening to this and like you can let them know like what you just got going on, because I know you said you got a clothing line you got pushing off, and then you was doing something with Peace Lounge, so if you can just like speak on both of them.
I got the clothing line called First Come First Serve. That was actually the last album I dropped was called First Come First Serve, and I got some merchandise made with that, and people just was fucking with it real heavy.
So that's what made you turn it into a clothing line?
Yeah, and I got a logo. I should have wore something, man, but my logo, everybody fuck with it. So I just started getting shit made with it. But I don't like doing stuff and I ain't doing it right. So when I got it made, I actually got it embroidered and I got it made the right way, and everybody was fucking with it. So because I started with the merch, with the First Come First Serve album, I said, man, that's what I'm gonna just name the label. You know what I'm saying? And, so I got that going down, man. I got, we do like custom orders too, but I just be getting different shipments out, whatever I think gonna be hot at that time, people want wear.
What's one of the ways you test it out before you jump out there and just get a lot of stuff made? Do you do like test runs, or you just go with what you feel?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. People be saying that to me like, how you gotta get that many? And I be like, fuck it, man, because if I get a whole bunch of them, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna give them away anyway too. I be seeing females at the gas station like, what size shirt you wear? Give it to them. And people be telling me they see a lot of people with it on, so I don't know if that's just everybody buying it or if it's also, you might have seen one of the people I gave it
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So I just be ordering a lot. And then I be already having in my mind, like, I know it's certain things I'm going to do. I might have a video shoot. I probably going to be drunk and give everybody a hoodie or something to put on for the shoot anyway. So I just be like, fuck it, order it. Like, you can figure out how to get it out there and make the money back too. You know what I'm saying? That's enough for it.
All right, so I guess my next question is, how did you get affiliated with the Peace Lounge? What brought you into doing something down there?
The owner, Betty, like, that's like my sister. Like, we real tight. And I was promoting there for a minute. Like, I just wanted to try it, you know what I'm saying? And being as though we got that relationship. And my cousin John, he already promoted it. So actually what happened was I went there one day and I hosted a party. I wasn't really supposed to. I just was coming, but the party was dry. Like, there was a lot of people there, but the party was dry. It was like, man, get on the mic. Ooh, I just left a show. You know, like, get on the mic. I'm like, man, fuck it. Give me the mic. Got on the mic. I turned the party up. And she wanted me to keep doing that. So I was like, fuck it. Like, I just started throwing the parties on certain nights. And so we started throwing the little events. Like, I was, man, that ain't the game for me though, man. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it's too much. It's like you investing like, I could be investing that money in my music. You know what I'm saying? It's not always not guaranteed.
Yeah, no, it's not, the one thing about throwing parties is not your wins and your losses sometimes outweigh themselves, and it's never a guarantee on what you're gonna get back on the put out. So it's kind of like it's a gamble, and if you have a long-term hustle in mind, like you said, investing money in your music, I always feel like you'll think of it like that, and that's just how I always think of it. Like, sometimes what look good, like, it sound cool. Oh yeah, I'm promoting, I throw this hot party, but if that money ain't right, and you feel like, man, if I'm throwing 4 parties a month, out of them 4, I may win 2. May break even on 1 and then lose on 1. Is the shit really worth it? Where I can be like, fuck it, I could just take this whole thing and just realistically, if that money ain't like making me or breaking me, I can just take that shit and go do something else with it.
I'm gonna tell you what it did do though. What it did do was, cause see me, man, like, the only reason I do anything within that type of industry, like events, anything, is because of music. That's where I started at. So anything I do, like, I look at it like, how can it help me with that? You know what I'm saying? Being as though I've been away from the scene for so long, I was like, man, well, that'll be, you know what I'm saying?
Do you think it's been benefiting you so far?
Hell yeah.
Like, what's one of the biggest benefits you say you got so far back, but outside of money, like, just helping you in general, like, with just going on further with your career?
People who didn't know who I was knowing now. And it didn't even have to be from performing all the time. Like, I was performing up there too. That was another thing, because I ain't really been doing too many shows. Like I said, I understand you gotta be in demand to be demanding money and shit from people. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta get that back going on. But in the meantime, like, I ain't paying nobody to perform. And that's what I see be going on everywhere, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't really been doing too many shows, so I said, fuck it. Sometimes I can just perform here. I did some shows, and them jumps was turn out like pretty. Anytime I say I'm gonna perform somewhere, it gotta turn out. So I'm saying, it's like, people still pay attention,
right?
But it's like, if it ain't, it gotta be. They can pay attention, but if it's not something to pay bigger attention to, they not going to.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Everybody, I mean, with any business in general, everybody want to see growth because it makes it easy to be a dick rider. And it's sad to say it, but that's just how it is. The higher your movement is, the stronger your movement is, it's easier for people to latch on and show that they support it than where it's like quiet supporters, where a nigga might shoot you a text or a nigga might DM you, oh, I see what you got going on, bro. Yeah. But they don't want to write it on your page. But if it's already 50 other motherfuckers commenting on your shit, man, 51, it don't matter. I'm hop on his dick too. Yeah. So it just, and that's just how people are. Where it's just like, and you even see that, you can judge that just off of Instagram on a daily basis. Like I watch, and people not stupid. People see if your shit getting a different type of traction, people would just say dumbass comments on your shit just so motherfuckers can see, oh, he know this person or he fuck with. That's just how people are.
That's how that shit go. And that's the thing. Like I ain't really that social media shit. I be on it every day. Don't get me wrong, but like as far as the use of it, I ain't the one to be like I don't know how to be bringing all the traffic. Like I just be chilling. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that shit ain't enough for him. I gotta like do some goofy shit.
No, I don't think you have to do goofy shit. I think you just gotta kind of find your lane. What's easy for you to be able to do on a day-to-day basis. Cause some goofy shit, I be telling motherfuckers, I take my hat off to a motherfucker who sit down and make funny videos and edit them videos every day and post them shit. Bro, that shit is long and harder than what you think. Cause guess what? You gonna always be your biggest critic. So just imagine you doing a video and you record it and be like, damn, that shit wasn't funny. I gotta record it again. Yeah. I couldn't do that shit every day. I ain't even gonna hold you because I just don't have, I know me, I overjudge myself too much for me to sit here and say, I'm gonna try to put out a funny 1 minute video every fucking day. That's too hard.
Yeah, see, that's how the thing went. Like at Peace, like that shit went from that night to, I was throwing the parties. Like I was probably, man, at one point I was throwing parties on like 3 of the nights, but I was hosting them. And that's what it was like me hosting is like, to me it just felt like when you go on the stage and rap. Like I could just walk in there and get the mic and I know I can turn this party up. Like I know I'm gonna do it. That shit helped, like I said, because people was getting hit. Like once a motherfucker was seeing that and was having interest on who is that, then people was telling them like, hey, oh, you a rapper? Yeah, I'm a rapper too. You go look at that. So that helped me with that though, because man, like I said, everybody don't know. That's my issue right now, is everybody just really don't know.
So, okay, I guess just to wrap it up, what's the dates on what you got coming up right now? Like, you got dates on your newest projects you about to drop?
Yeah.
Or singles or anything?
Yeah, I'm dropping King and 3 July 15th.
July 15th?
July 15th.
You got a single off of that that you putting out before then, or a video or something?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I got one out now. It's called Can't Sign Me. The video on YouTube, the song on everything, YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you listen to music, at that joint up. Clever Cam shot that video. He shot my last video before that too, off King and 2. The first single I dropped off that joint, he shot that too, called What's Her Name. That joint did like 14,000. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little better than it was when I first started putting shit back out there. But yeah, Can't Sign Me, man. That's what we pushing right now. That joint out there, man. Check that out.
And tell them again, what's your Twitter, your Instagram, Facebook, whatever, where they can find you, your names on all of them.
My Instagram, Real Eezy Money. It's Real EEZY Money. Ain't no underscores and none of that. Real Eezy Money. I don't really be on Twitter like that, but it's Eezy Money too.
And what about Facebook?
Eezy Money, EEZY Money. Facebook, Trinidad Eezy. I'm always on that jump too. That's why everybody be acting like Facebook ain't nothing. Every fucking body be on Facebook. Y'all keep acting like y'all be seeing everybody.
I'm gonna tell you one thing about Facebook before we go. Facebook is like the jump where it's like, it's the family jump, so you really don't want to OD act like you on it because everybody, you know you got an auntie on your Facebook page and you forgot what her name is, so you can't even block her. So you gotta you gotta watch your behavior on that jump. Now I ain't gonna hold you. My godmother tried requesting. I'm like, bro, you too old to be requesting me on Facebook. This shit is getting denied. So I feel like Facebook is one of them jumps when you at work, you get on it because after a certain hour, Facebook be dead as shit, and you gotta get on Instagram if you're looking for some thirsty behavior. But doing your 9 to 5, everybody at work, you can get your shit off on Facebook.
Well, I know when I was at like the peak of my motherfucking rap popularity, and I used to be on Facebook faking. You hear me saying anything to anybody, like putting any kind of statuses up. I might say some wild shit. My mother would come under the truck. I might say some shit about bitches like, man, sup, these bitches move up, would get under the post. Like, damn, like, that's for real? That's how you feel? I be like, come on, bro. Like, dad of bitches come. Yeah, your mother. Like, come on, bro.
All right, man. This is another episode of Bulture Podcast, man. Make sure y'all go check out all his music, everything he got jumping off. Go follow him on the gram. Go check him out on the Facebook.
Yeah.
And then we see y'all next time.
Man.
July 15th, right?
July 15th, man. It's dropping ASAP. Get that shit, man. It's gonna be like that. You hear me?